In the last 12 years, the Golden State Warriors were, let's just say, pretty darn good at drafting under-the-radar players. In 2011, they got a sweet shooting machine named Klay Thompson as their 11th pick. Then, the following year, they used their 35th pick to draft the resident smashmouth and Swiss Army knife Draymond Green. After that, they used their 30th pick in 2015 to grab the rebounding demon Kevon Looney, and although he's not around anymore, the Warriors gambled on Jordan Poole as their 28th pick in 2019. Basically, everything that the Warriors touch turns into gold, as these players either became superstars or solid role players within a short time span. And it seems that this trend ain't gonna stop soon, cause in this year's draft, they got another big one.
Joe French has found some success, and that's what Reggie Theus wanted to see from him. Ball down.
They were really struggling. Bates goes full court low.
Man, oh man, what are these kids eating nowadays? I mean, that's just plain nasty. Trayce Jackson-Davis is probably the biggest steal in this year's draft. And I mean that in a literal sense, cause the Dubs really did snatch him away from the Wizards via trade, cause they saw something special in him that most people don't. As the 57th pick of this year's draft, TJD is going to be the Dubs' lowest pick in the modern era. But as their draft history tells us, that number really doesn't matter, because for them, they see superstar written all over TJD. And in return, from the looks of his reaction, you can see that he's really excited to wear that Warriors uniform.
The biggest thing for me is just landing in the spot that a team wanted me, and I can make the most out of my opportunity. I feel like Golden State was that place, and so waiting a little bit, that's not wrong with me. As long as I can make the most of it, it's good with me, and I'm ready to compete.
But wait, before we get too excited about this pick, is he really that good, or did the Dubs make a major mistake on this one? Well, let's find out. Just like his former 17-year vet dad, Trayce is a load down low with a 6'10", 245-pound frame. The apple indeed doesn't fall far from the tree in this case, because TJD is also a smooth operator inside with great footwork. Take a look here. After receiving the ball from an entry pass, TJD gave a slight shoulder fake before going the other way to finish it on the other end. Now, although his low post game may look soft and too methodical, this kid knows how to get the job done without spending extra movements. See, here it is once again, a slight shimmy to the right, followed by a simple drop step to shake off his defender, which resulted in a quick, easy bucket underneath. At first glance, he looks slow and not agile enough to get around his defenders, but in reality, he's actually deceptively quick on his feet. I mean, watch this play. Upon receiving the inside pass, TJD looks at the side mirror to see if they're gonna double him, and when they do, he quickly spins around and stuffs it home before the defense came. Now, that dunk right there proved that he's not boring to watch, and actually, he's quite athletic and has a strong tendency to punish the rim from time to time. Here's TJD engaging in a two-man game with his point guard, and without hesitation, he runs straight to the rim and gets rewarded with an alley-oop. And when you sleep on him, TJD has the instinct to go backdoor, and here's what's gonna happen if you give him a free lane going to the rim.
3% of the season. Jackson-Davis coming with some.
This kid can surely pop off the ground just like that, as if he got trampolines attached to his shoes. And according to TJD, here's his approach whenever he has bad intentions going to the rim.
I noticed that you don't necessarily treat the rim so kindly, so I think I asked Jonathan Kaminga this question a couple seasons back, but when attacking the rim, where do you channel that aggression?
I think it's just how I am, just having a switch, and when you're in between the lines, I feel like I'm a different person. I'm a competitor, and so just try to attack and just rip the rim off, honestly. That's the biggest thing for me.
Like, just imagine what damage this kid can do if CP3 was the one throwing lobs to him in pick-and-roll situations. I mean, am I smelling Lob City 2.0 here, but this time around in the Bay Area? Now, at first, I thought that he was just a one-dimensional, fundamentally sound low-post guy who can barely shoot using his right hand. But as you can see in the recent clips, he has the hops to complement his back-to-the-basket play style. And he's actually pretty effective as a roll guy, with his ability to punch it through in traffic. To sum up his offensive game, I'm seeing a sprinkle of Tim Duncan in his post-game with some shade of a young Blake Griffin whenever he clears the runway. There are only a few players in the league that can balance their fundamentals along with their athletic abilities without compromising the other. And based on the clips that we saw, TJD has the potential to master both. And if he keeps this going, there's no doubt that he'll make a huge splash off the bench for the Warriors next season. I mean, if you're not convinced by that statement, go ahead and take a look at this graphic right here. This is TJD's college numbers, and as you can see, the kid continues to improve each year during his stint with Indiana, and not to mention that he was part of the All-Big Ten selection for 4 consecutive years. Anyways, in his farewell season, just look at that double-double stat line he tallied right there. 21 points per game on 58% shooting while grabbing 10.8 rebounds, dishing out 4 assists, and to me, those 3 blocks per ball game were the main reason why the Dubs traded for him. Well, speaking of which, let's switch gears and see what Jackson-Davis can offer to the Dubs on the defensive end of the floor. With a 7'1" wingspan, his long arms can definitely change shots whenever he prowls inside the shaded lane. And even though he's quite tall, he can still keep up against smaller players with his long strides. See, here's TJD running along past half court. And when he sensed that the opposing guard was gonna attack hard, he timed him perfectly and swatted his shot against the backboard. And as good as he is in the two-man game on offense, he can also defend pick and roll on the opposing side as well. And just look at how he single-handedly shot down this alley-oop play by using his insane hops. As you saw on those back-to-back clips, TJD has the potential to become an elite shot blocker and rim protector, and you can already sense that he takes a lot of pride in being a defense-first type of guy.
How would you explain what you bring to the table defensively, and what's one part of your game on that side of the ball that you want to continue to grow?
Just being able to alter and block shots is something that I bring to the table. Without fouling, just walling up vertically, getting my hands on balls and stuff of that nature, and so that's just something that I have to continue to work at.
Is there a player that you're looking forward to playing or being able to maybe swat away a shot?
Not necessarily. I'm just going up against whoever's in front of me. It's the NBA, so guys might get the best of me sometimes, but I'm going to try to go up there and block every shot.
We all know that the Dubs lacked legit bigs last season, and as I said earlier, this could be the very reason why they targeted TJD in the draft. He's a bouncy 4 that can go up against athletic bigs of the opposing teams, and his length alone can definitely bother some shots even if he doesn't directly contest them. Now, beyond his defensive abilities, the Golden State Warriors feel that TJD can offer a lot more by being some sort of an all-around guy. I mean, although he's not really known as a pass-first guy, his assists number increased to 4 a ball game in his senior year, indicating that he has the capability to become as such. In fact, there was even a scouting website that compared him to Draymond, and with this mentioned, I really don't see TJD having a hard time fitting in with the Dubs next season. Well, speaking of which, here's TJD talking exactly about that.
Are there any kind of guys that you model your game after, and kind of where do you think that your playmaking skills, both out of the post and on the run, kind of fit the Warrior system?
I think that just the way that they play, just being able to pass the ball out of that short roll, handing it off, being a lob threat, putting pressure on the rim are all things that I'm really good at, so I'm just going to have to continue to grow in those areas.
You can see in his reaction that he's really pumped up to prove himself to other teams that he doesn't deserve to get picked so late in the draft. And I believe this is the reason why he's gonna thrive in Golden State, since he's gonna use this huge chip on his shoulder as motivation to improve his game further into new heights.